herdsmen. The force is encouraging both groups to live in peace and support initiatives aimed at building national unity. Also, the Commissioner of Police in Abia State, Mr. Adeleye Oyebade, has created a forum where farmers, herdsmen and residents meet to resolve their differences.
They call it a town hall meeting, convened by the Conflict Resolution Committee set up by the state government to forestall any crisis that may arise amongst farmers, herdsmen or the residents. These herdsmen grazing their cattle on farmland belonging to other people is the reason for this meeting. The government wants to put an end to such acts which for some time now has caused bloody clashes amongst farm owners and cattle rearers.
The farmers are tired of being at the receiving end. In as much as we are not ready to become restive, we appreciate what the government is doing. But the Abia State government too must come with a resolution from the law to tell us the stand of Abia State government.
It takes us 10 years to develop a new variety of cassava that will resist diseases and probably add vitamin A to cassava. Along the line, you see cattle will come to our research farm and eat up everything we have developed.
For the Commissioner of Police, this is not the period to condone any conflict. So the best way forward is to nip it in the bud before it snowballs into a full dispute.
This meeting have brought the two groups together. They have been able to bring out their challenges. They have been able to give us the way forward. So we are going to articulate all their interests together, interests that have been raised. We are also here with the traditional rulers, the community leaders in the areas affected, because so many of the local governments that are affected, also we brought in the divisional police officers. So with the resolution that we have been able to make today, what we intend doing is to make it as the reference point. We are to now use it as the template to now regulate the conduct of these two parties.
Another way forward is being suggested by the state government, which is that traditional rulers should generate a database for all herdsmen and other residents in the area.
The governor is aware of the unfriendly relationship between the Hausa, Fulani and the various communities in Abia State, especially the areas, the cattle areas and Masi. And I've heard that oftentimes there has always been, if not the intervention and the majority of the people there, that there will have been outbreak of crisis there.
At the end of the town hall meeting, it was resolved that farmers and herdsmen must endeavor to live together peacefully, while the herdsmen should not allow their cattle to wander about or graze on farmland or at night, and that any herdsmen found with a gun will be handed over to the police and prosecuted.
And from Abia, let's cross over to Abuja now. Here's Linda Akigbe. Linda.
Hello, Ijoma. Now, for candidates who may have experienced difficulties in the process of seeking admission into Nigerian universities, this may be cheering news. The National Universities Commission, NUC, says it is working with the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, to resolve the challenges militating against smooth admission into the institutions in the country.
With the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, and tertiary education stakeholders on the 5th of July 2016 in Abuja adopted 180 as the cut-off mark for 2016 admission into universities, polytechnics and colleges of education. The decision was reached at the 2016 Combined Policy Meeting on Admissions to Degree, Nigerian Certificates of Education (NCE) and National Diploma (ND), chaired by the Minister of Education, Adamu. The Minister also announced the scrapping of post-UTME, but since then, university administrators have expressed their dissatisfaction. At a forum with the registrar of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, however, the Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission pledges the resolution of admission challenges into Nigerian universities.
Honestly, the National Universities Commission and JAMB have already agreed to work together to resolve some problems affecting the smooth administration of admissions into Nigerian universities.
The registrar of JAMB laments the perception of Nigerians about the board as he appeals for support from relevant agencies.
I believe we cannot do this alone without the support of all of you. My first management meeting here, I told them.
The president of the Nigerian Academy of Letters, while commending the appointment of Professor Oloyede as the registrar of JAMB, pledged to work with the board.
We have come to also, even before he has requested for it, offer him support, partnership and collaboration.
The forum, initiated by the Nigerian Academy of Letters, is aimed at fostering a cordial relationship among educational institutions in the country.
The lack of accurate data on disease outbreaks is one of the major challenges the Minister of Health says it has been grappling with. To reverse this trend, the Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, says plans are on to deploy information technology to improve access to healthcare delivery. Professor Adewale and his counterpart in the Ministry of Communications disclosed this at a meeting to inaugurate the National E-Health Committee in Abuja.
We need to use this platform to improve data and documentation. If you ask about the number of people who died in Nigeria last year from cholera, everything is about. If you ask for the number of people who had measles outbreak or who were involved, they say about. There's nothing specific about incidences and outbreaks in Nigeria, and we can use this to transform it. If you have a proper, functional, and robust data system, you can press a button and it will tell you we had 75 cases, we had 30 cases, or we had 100 cases of cancer last year. And that's what it should be. Not that someone will now sit in Geneva, use the data in Benin Republic or Togo to compute what we have in Nigeria. And that's what has been happening to us. We need to change this outlook.
Having identified ICT as the key enabler, the initiative was geared towards accelerating efforts to improve health outcomes and strengthening the health system by leveraging on greater access and use of mobile and related information and communication technologies. Of course, we have not yet gotten to 100%, connectivity in Nigeria, but the Federal Ministry of Communications is doing all that it can to ensure that all parts of this country are covered. So we have started. The starting point, we are not saying within the first year we will get 100% coverage. But the important thing is that Nigeria is on the forward march, and by the grace of God, we will continue to improve. And I believe that in the next 2 or 3 years, all parts of this country will be connected.
The Imo State government has intervened in the face-off between officials of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps and members of Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria. This follows cases of petrol scarcity recorded in some local council areas. The scarcity was reportedly caused by alleged harassment and intimidation of tanker drivers by NSCDC officials.
It came as a shock to the people of Imo State as they woke up to a disturbing news that all petrol stations are not working. In Owerri, the state capital, people gathered at the entrance of the petrol stations waiting for any news. Commuters were also seen stranded at various bus stops. Reports eventually filtered in that the Imo State chapter of the Independent Petroleum Marketers of Nigeria is on strike as a solidarity protest against the alleged intimidation of tanker drivers by the officials of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps.
A human life is involved this time around, understand. We now said that the issues need to be addressed, and that is one of the reasons why we shut down. The union started to shut down their shops so that the government will intervene into the matter. Now, in the course of the strike, understand, our staffs, the petroleum tanker drivers, understand, has been out of service in Imo State for the past 2 weeks, understand. So it's on that basis we decided to support them in the strike so that the issue will be addressed.
During one incident, a tanker driver was said to have been shot and is lying unconscious in a hospital. Confirming the incident, the zonal coordinator.
Still ahead on the news at 10, African leaders and development partners at the Green Revolution Forum in Kenya pledged multi-billion-dollar investments in agriculture over the next decade. Join us again.